I'm really starting to think that doing illegal drugs would be much cheaper than supporting this antique iron habit. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man, and here, still on my trailer, is my latest purchase that came from the good old auction time. Auction time is twice as addictive as nicotine, I think, and probably about 3 times as fun. So anyway, I saw this and I thought to myself, wouldn't that look cute behind the steel-wheeled 60 when it's all done? So I put it in my watch list, and you know, I looked at all the pictures and it looked fairly complete, and I bid on it, and I had to raise my bid in the last few minutes to get it, but I gave $120 for it, and I think that that is well worth it, because the crank isn't stuck, and it actually looks better in person than it does on camera. Because I noticed, looking at the pictures, I couldn't tell that it was as good as it is in person. There are still traces of original paint, and you may or may not be able to see it, but there's some red paint over there, and in different places there's red paint. There's actually green paint on this wheel hub, and there's a little bit of green paint out here. So for its age, I really think it's in excellent shape. I'm not up on my old-timey plow numbers, so if you for sure know what this is, you can leave it in the comments. I got a couple guys trying to research that for me, because I know several people who have a plow just like this. It has a I guess beam or frame or whatever you want to call it style of construction, much like the 109 plow had, which, if you don't know, the 109 plow was the first one to use the Radex. And it also, the 109 plow had that Ripley wheel, maybe you've seen before. But I've got remnants of a 109 plow, and it has this same type of like 3-layer beam with the rivets holding it together. So it is from about that same vintage, I would say. It's older than the 100 Plowmaster. You can just tell by the size of everything, you know, the rods and stuff here. It also has the wheel lift. This is an older style lifting mechanism than you usually see. It actually has, I believe, if we can read that, it says 16-inch bottom. I don't know if that shows up on camera or not. It probably shows better up on camera than it does to my eyes in real life, because it's hard to see. But anyway, you can see traces of red paint on that, which that's not saying anything. That could have been replaced at some point in the plow's life, because that's a wear part. We'll go around to the other side and take a gander at it. Over here you can see it's got a hard surface point on it, so somebody has done something there to extend its life. I doubt that they bought it that way. They probably took their point somewhere and had that done, I would assume, or maybe they did it themselves. But overall, it's just a pretty solid little plow, and like I said, for 120 bucks, who can go wrong? I mean, that's cheap fun to have right there. Even that's not too bad a shape compared to some that I've got, so it's a little stiff maybe. But it looks to me like it was stored in some type of conditions where it helped preserve it a little bit. It does need, I do need to get a better clevis, I think. The actual plow clevises are straight. Sometimes you have trouble getting this hitch to let loose of the twisted clevis. And I do see now something that looks like I'm missing. If I can climb up there. Looks to be missing some hitch parts here. So yeah, I'm missing the springs and that U-bolt deal and the trigger to release it. I never even gave that a peek on the... So that is probably What's it been done? Oh, I see. They must have lost that years ago, so they welded her solid. So we're gonna have to either find us another hitch or do some repair on this one. We will probably just leave that setup alone, no more than we'll use it. I would like to make it original though. So if anybody has one of these, I would be in the market for it. Here's the part number, it looks like. Does that show up? 0-480 or something like that. Maybe it shows up better on camera. But I'm happy with this. I mean, I think it's gonna look good behind the 60 whenever it's done, and not being stuck, really nice. It's really lightweight, so you can throw it around when you're doing stuff like that. I'll just leave it alone before I end up denting my fuel tank. That sounds like a plan. So anyway, I'll get this unloaded one day, and maybe this next spring we can play with it. I wish I could tell you that this was the only thing I bought in the last week, but I'm saving that for a video of its own. It's quite a surprise. I accumulated something that there's not very many of left, and not very many people have. Some people probably don't hold it in the same regard as Charles City built stuff, so that might give you a little clue as to what it is. But I think it's cute as can be, and I think that it will be fun to play with. So I won't spoil that surprise. I'll wait till I go get it, and like I said, it'll be its own video because it's unusual enough that when I search for it on YouTube, there's not very many videos of one that comes up. So I will wait until I get it, and then I will tell you what it is then. I guess this is as good a time as any to talk about this. Maybe we'll just make a video explaining the thing I bought and this future project. This is a Farmers Union No. 2 co-op, and it was brought to me by a customer, and she brought me a set of brakes for a 77. Oh, I don't know how long ago, last summer maybe, and I redid that for her, and relined them rather, and got her some axles or some brake shaft seals and things. And I was just thinking to myself the other day, I thought, I wonder how she ever got along with those. And then it wasn't like the next day she messaged me and said, hey, I just bought something. I wondered if you'd be interested in working on it. And I said, what is it? And she said, a No. 2 co-op. And I said, why, sure. What do you want done to it? She wanted the brakes worked on, because if you drive it, it does not have the, I mean, there's a lot of travel on the brakes. I don't know if it's enough that we can just adjust them and clean them and use what we got, or if we're gonna have to replace pieces. We got to get that far. It's been sitting here for a couple weeks while I was finishing up that 1755, because there's just, I have too much stuff to work on right now. I can't get it all done. But sadly enough, the other day when I was walking by it, I did not notice this when we unloaded it. But I told her, I said, hey, you realize that the block is cracked, right? And when you look at it, you can see the rust trails that have formed down here. And there behind the starter, it kind of scares me to take the starter off, because I have a feeling that it's probably pretty busted up back there, just by the way it looks. It's actually, now today, it's got some accumulation of, although that may have been, well, no, it's dripping down from up back there. I'm just afraid that this is going to be more of a repair than she wanted to spend. I quoted her kind of high on it, just for the reason that you don't know what you get into when you turn to something like that. So I kind of held off doing much to it until I hear from her on what her plans are for it. You know, I have no idea what she gave for it. She bought it at an auction from some people that she knew growing up, I think I understood. And if I understood her right, the guy also was into Harley Davidsons, so she bought one of those that he had. And interestingly enough, this guy has put Harley Davidson front tires on them. They even say Harley Davidson, or at least the other side does. Yeah, there you go, Harley Davidson. And he put a chrome pipe off of a Harley Davidson on it, she said, and it definitely cackles. But this is basically, if you've never seen one of these before, I believe it was made out of Dodge truck components, like heavy truck components. It's got a Continental engine in it and uses the truck transmission and rear end. And so I would assume that somewhere out there in internet land there are parts available because of that reason. And I have no information on this at all. I have no books or anything, so anything we do is going to be purely diving in with little knowledge, but that has never stopped me before, so I don't know why it would this time. I think it's a neat tractor. I always thought I'd like to have one of these, and here I am working on one, so that's interesting. I may change my opinion of them by the time we're done with this project, but it's pretty cool. It even has like just little details. They made a cast shift knob that says Co-op in it. I mean, that's cast, so that's pretty neat. It's not just plastic. 5-speed transmission with reverse. The seat was another thing she wanted fixed. Yeah, I thought it was gonna buck her off when she was backing it off the trailer. It's pretty bad, and when I sat on it, it probably didn't do it any favors. And she talked about wanting to have a buddy seat type system put on, or a wide bench seat, so that people could ride it on tractor drives or take it in a parade. So if we get that far and she decides that we're going to go ahead and fix it the correct way, then we'll tackle all that stuff after, or we'll just see what she wants to do. I'm not going to spend her money. She can make the decision. Like I said, I don't know what she gave for it, so I don't know if we're money ahead to be spending money on it, or if we're going to be losing a bunch of money working on it. I don't know. And I have only drove it as far from over where it was sitting in the background of the other videos to over here out of the way, and that's as far as we got. I would start it, but it's sitting on a hill, and I'm not sure that it will stay sitting here if I start it. But that time will come. You will get to hear it run at some point, because I'm sure we will end up doing something to it, you know, even if it's clean it up real good and fix it with some kind of miracle in a can or something. I don't know what. Like I said, if that's what she wants to do, that's her business. I just want to do whatever she wants. But I told her that I'm a fan of fixing it correctly, just because if you were on a long tractor drive, or you know, the hotter it gets, it's going to leak worse. The heat will expand and those cracks will open up, and it will, you know, if it starts pouring out all the water and you're way in the middle of nowhere, that's not the situation to find yourself in. So we're going to have to see what she wants to do. And I need to just go ahead and probably drain the rest of the water out of it so that it has nothing in it until we decide, because I have no idea what's in it. It hasn't been cold enough here to bust anything, so, and it won't be for another couple months probably. It does look almost full to the top with antifreeze, so that's kind of a good sign that it is holding what it's got. It's just seeping. But like I said, nobody's probably run this for years, for a lengthy amount of time, because I think she said it sat for a long time and was even sitting outside when she bought it. So it definitely, we don't know enough about it yet. We don't know what kind of shape it's really in, other than it seems to run good. It sounds pretty sweet with that stack on it. We don't have much in the way of brakes, so we'll just have to figure all that out as we go. But I know people were asking about it. Number 2 co-op, and pretty interesting. So I don't really want to make a salesman announcement here, but If you would be in the need or market for some clamp-on duals, I have acquired quite the collection of them just recently from somebody, and I do not need all these clamp-on duals. I just saved them for the rims and the tires, basically, or at least the rims. I will probably keep a pair of the ones that have double bevels just in case I need a rim for a tractor, but you know, they're not perfect. I mean, they're duals, but I don't need all these. I mean, if somebody needs them, message me, send me an email, and we can probably come together on them. I think I got, what, 4 sets? I don't know what's even here. This one is by itself, a singular rim with hooks, and I'm not really overly attached to this. So if you have this style clamp-on dual and you're looking for one, maybe we can work something out there. But I got enough that I probably would sell some. What it amounts to is a friend of mine is thinking about moving, and he can't take everything with him, so he's trying to get rid of things, and I helped him out. And so, but these have sat here now for almost a month, and I don't need that much stuff sitting here. I got to sort through these tires and put them in the shed because I got plenty tires. I can use these little tires is what I'm saying, but these duals really need to find a home with somebody that needs them. And I've got some clamps and stuff. I don't know. There's some over here too. I'm going to keep these wheels, naturally. These are Oliver cultivator wheels, but there's some bolts. Also going up for sale probably is this 2-in Ford that you saw in that other video. I don't need it. I mean, I saved it. It runs good. I think it's cute, but the thing that I bought that's going to be in that next video is much cuter to me, so I don't mind selling this to help fund that project. So 2-in Ford, same way. If you need it, let me know. Finally, Helix feed wagon. It works good. Brand new PTO shaft. I've had several people wanting this, and nobody has come through and paid. So if you're looking for one, this can be owned. I don't need it. I have that grainovator. I don't need 2. I thought I would, but turns out I don't. So instead of it just sitting here rotting, it might be for you. Just let me know. Also got a used Charlin steering setup that came off the Super 88. I boxed it up in 2 different boxes so that it could be shipped. And I haven't heard back from the guy who wanted it. So if you want it, let me know before I put it away again. You would be buying this with the understanding that it probably would need resealed because I never used it. So anyway, it fits at shipped boxes, so the shipping should be like 40 bucks to anywhere in the continental United States. So that's why I like these. Anything under 70 pounds, that's the way to do it. Well, I really didn't want to turn into a salesman, so we're gonna just stop with that. I just kind of looked around at things that I thought that people have been seeing and wondering about. But anyway, show you some new projects, show you some stuff that I got that I would part with. And anyway, I'm excited to go get this other thing I was telling you about. I can't wait. I can't hardly contain myself, really. So I'm not going to have time to go get it for another 3 or 4 days, which is really, it's bad. It's like waiting for Santa Claus on Christmas morning. So it's going to be a little wait before that video comes out, but when it's here, you will definitely see it. So be looking for that. As always, if you enjoy the videos, give them a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss whatever comes next. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.